Depression in New York history ever. Yeah. The Bronx buildings were being like burned down by like landlords because it was cheaper, you know, to burn the buildings down than maintain them, right?
Yeah.
So like, you know, from that turmoil and all that poverty, like, you know, graffiti came out like in a big way from like the underground and from the people that had no money, no voice. But say, here it is.
Talking about a period in New York history which was very depressing, very bad. The overall federal policy in the United States at the time was to abandon the cities.
That's what they're doing still in Vegas. Man, I gotta go there.
They felt it was going to be more lucrative to develop suburbs, to develop the automobile, the freeways, and the South and the Southwest and California, rather than to worry about the northeastern cities, which were very expensive to maintain. In the neglect, kids were left to their own devices, and they invented all kinds of wonderful, exciting, thrilling, maybe dangerous, but interesting games. Graffiti was one of them.
You remember that thing? We had to climb on top of the train, right? And the train pulled out. Yeah, it's okay, man. I'm still painting though.
I'm a recovering graffiti artist. Hello, my name is Lee. Personally, I think that the whole movement that happened on the subways is probably one of the most advanced cultural
phenomenon ever, probably in the United States, only because it was something that wasn't premeditated and planned out in an academic way or anything. It was just like a natural state of mind, like that young people, they just needed that outlet. They needed that emotional cry to, feel existent, coexistent with each other. I would say that I was a painter from day one.
No doubt, this man was, definitely, still is. Thing about Lee, I was in wonderment about him, because he was like the big enigma, Mysterio guy, I'm like, oh my God, it's a Lee, it's a fucking Lee, and it was so huge and iconic. There was a message behind what he was doing, in every piece.
Early 80s, there was a American sitcom called Welcome Back Kotter that was on TV, where in the intro section there was trains, and I thought this was something done by I don't know, like kind of old hippies kind of thing, like against the state or whatever. At some point many years later I found out it was like guys, I don't know, like 14, 15, 16-year-olds in New York.
Kids used to go into the train yards and have picnics. Sit around, drink beer, eat chicken, make out, and just sort of hang out in the yards. Nobody was paying any attention. So it was a natural to start tagging up. They were already tagging in buildings and things like that. Start tagging up on the train. It was years before the city was able to get it together to shut that all down.
Resourceful as we were on the streets back then, just inventing everything and anything to make life a little bit more grander, more exciting. The movement, spearheaded itself. These kids that are not necessarily well versed and educated in the arts, and all of a sudden they're creating, this art movement without any reference to art history.
At 16 years old, you don't know much about the history of culture in the 20th century, all that kind of stuff, but instinctively you feel, wait, this is something totally new. The chance of being able to remove your real so-called identity and in its place you put yourself like a new name, and we all start on a level playing board here. It was loads of people from loads of different backgrounds, culturally, socially, like the whole idea of the writing thing being based on ABCD rather than whether you can draw figuratively or not. It gave everyone a chance to play like in this new graphic game.
Being involved in that scene back in the day, you learned very quickly that it wasn't just about putting up your name, it was just developing a style around that name, or charisma, some kind of a character. So it's basically like a subliminal sculpture movement in essence. You're evolving around the alphabet to create a name. You develop that name as a sculpture of yourself. And of course, on the trains, the whole dynamic of it was the movement. It animated the whole thing. In some people's minds, it was more sinister, but it was actually the development of style, development of someone's actual existence as an artist.
One thing I would say is that I don't think graffiti style, or wild style particularly, would ever have evolved in any other location than on a moving object. The whole idea of directionality came from that, and why have an arrow?
People always say to me, Lee, would you ever go back to the trains? I said, why would I? I mean, that was that chapter in time and life. That was my frame of mind. Like I say, graffiti is a state of mind. It's not even actually a thing, because what we're doing is actually painting.
Dose Green, TC5, Zulu Nation, Rocksteady Crew, World Traveler, Space Traveler, Alien. Kids are getting up again. There's a need for it. I think it's healthy that people are expressing themselves and taking it to the next level and not rehashing the wild style of the past. I mean, there's a lot more to say now.
was used back in the day to define like scratching on a surface. And then when it had a surgeons in Philadelphia and New York in the subculture of wild style, and the media was the one that brought that word back out and said, these guys, look at them, they're graffiti, vandals. But the really bottom foundation of it were really calligraphists that expanded. Some guys got into art because automatically you felt you were doing art, being creative, expressive. You could tell somebody, yeah, I'm a writer. And if they don't know what the hell you're talking about, they think you're writing for a book, a magazine, or whatnot. At the end of the day, graffiti has a negative connotation to it because it's still just saying that you never elevated out of something that was just a scratching on a wall.
I think it's just the early stages of a new fascination with painters and painting and the process of painting.
I think it's the impulse, it's the idea that like we're willing to like go off at any time. We're not cooped up in some studio just sort of like hiding the way we work. I mean, we're willing to share that process as well as the finished piece. Sometimes I think that process, at least for me, is maybe even more valuable than the piece itself.
Tired of fucking hiding, man. Doing this all my life.
My name is Other, and I paint on trains, freight trains. It's a very old tradition that started a long time before people were painting on the trains in New York City or any of that. Most people call it monikers. Jack London writes about it in a book, and I think he wrote in 1890s. It takes place in Montreal, and he says he saw this one guy's Monica. It's spelled all different, like Monica, the name Monica. I wish I knew what yard it was in Montreal, because I'm always thinking maybe Jack London was here in 1890 carving his name on a wooden train with a jackknife somewhere. Oldest reference I can find of carving on trains or leaving an initial on a train by hobos is in that book. I mean, I still see monikers today and I go, okay, that guy's still around. There's a 04, that's this year. He's still doing it, he's still somewhere out there. Little messages about him. Just from being around people that paint trains, I painted a couple and I didn't really care. I didn't feel anything for it. It doesn't stay. My friends don't see it. One day, a friend of mine gave me a picture that was taken of a train I did in Toronto, in San Diego. And then I was like, what? This train was in San Diego? Some guy saw this in San Diego? And then I was hooked. I was like, oh my god. Like, it's got such a big scope. It's not just my city. It's not just Toronto. It's not just Ottawa. It's not just Montreal. It's like, this can go all the way down to like Guatemala. I think it suits the trains. Trains seem like these just big, silent, grumpy old rust buckets that are just slowly going from city to city and just sitting there.
Forgot the backs of So maybe you have one more pair.
started doing things inside, like when I couldn't paint outside, it was like I'd only have 3 or 4 things that I was working on, like panels that were stretched up, and I would continue to go over. Like I would do a piece, and then a couple days later I would just do another piece on the same thing and keep it going. And then of course, you know, like my mom would be like, "What happened to the painting? I love that thing you had done before." And it was just like really not being attached to just as an object, but more like a process, more like exploration. I don't really think of art as being like a tangible product, object sort of thing. It's a force, you know. And then you're just on it for the ride, you know. You gotta like give to it, and it gives back.
Everybody watching. Keep it solo, keep it safe.
Whoa.
I don't know what this is, but I gotta go, man. Take a lot of money.
Growing up in New York during those times in the 80s, you know, there was a lot of things going around. There was like, everybody was painting on the walls, doing pieces and painting on trains. Yeah, one of my first pieces I ever seen, I think it was a Tracy 168. Well, that was the one that kind of like put it in my face that you can do something with a spray can, you know, with colors and compose something. That was sort of my art school. It was New York and the apprenticeship of following somebody around and learning how to write your name. That's where I learned the ropes, I guess. When I was painting on the train, it was always this. It was always sort of like what the fuck is that shit? You know, like you would see it come by and it would make you move, or you know, like rub your eyes because it was vibrating in so much color. New York at the time was just basic New York for New York, you know. Nobody was really looking beyond, and anything that was outside of New York was whack, you know. You had the pioneers and the kings in New York, so it was like the Mecca. So those artists like Lee or Crash and Days or A1, I would see them coming back from Europe and whatnot, and I was always wondering like, yo, what's up in Europe, you know? So I had the opportunity to meet Bando, and on meeting him, he showed me all these pictures of what was going on the other side, you know, in France. And I liked the vibe. I liked what they were expressing. It was like different colors that I had never seen before. And it was like a really good and strong energy. You had the best stylings here. You had Mode, you had the BBC, you had Locust, people coming from all over Europe. Shoe and Angel and the Chrome Angels, and we had Boxer, which was an incredible bomber, and people that were very supportive of this form of art, and we're looking at it as art and not just graffiti like, let's say, a lot of New Yorkers were. I was more or less first a bomber, someone that was writing my name in calligraphy, to what I'm doing now, which is it's just an evolution. So when I came out here, you know, the next step was really just to do paintings. Coming from where I come from and growing up the way I grew up, you know, I always had a thirst to express myself, and I felt good when I was painting. You know, and I was far away from reality of what else was going around. To make things better. I guess that's why I put a lot of colors. Makes me happy.
White elephant.